I found out on a Tuesday afternoon. The envelope was gone from my desk drawer. Not misplaced, not buried under paperwork. Gone. I stood there longer than I should have, staring at the empty space like it might refill itself if I looked hard enough. $15,950. Every tip, every overtime shift, every weekend I said no to going out. It had weight when I held it. Now the drawer felt hollow. I didn't need to ask who took it. My sister had been hovering around my room the past few days. Casual, curious, too casual. When I walked into the kitchen that evening, she was scrolling through her phone, new shopping bags tucked carelessly near her chair, branded ones. The kind she used to screenshot and say, "Own day." She glanced up at me, studied my face, waiting. I poured myself water, sat down, smiled. It wasn't theatrical, it wasn't smug, it was small, calm. Her shoulders shifted almost imperceptibly. She expected noise, a confrontation, accusations, maybe tears. "You're quiet," she said. "Long day?" I replied. That was it. Dinner felt strangely stretched. She kept looking at me as if I were a fuse that refused to spark. I could feel the anger inside me sharp and hot, but I also felt something else, clarity. If I exploded, this would become about feelings, about sibling rivalry, about misunderstandings. But it wasn't that. It was about money with a purpose. Money Dad had transferred to me because I was the only one he trusted to hold it. Her tuition payment was due Friday. She had begged him for another chance this semester. Promised she'd focus, promised she'd stop spending recklessly. He had wired it to me so it wouldn't accidentally disappear. The irony almost made me laugh. After dinner, she followed me into the hallway. "You're not going to say anything?" she asked, voice light but tight underneath. "About what?" She searched my face for cracks. Found none. That's when the front door opened harder than usual. Dad's footsteps weren't subtle. They never were when something was on his mind. He walked straight into the living room without taking off his jacket. What happened to the $15,950 for her tuition? The number didn't sound abstract when he said it. It sounded heavy, exact, real. My sister froze. I stayed where I was. He looked at me first. "I transferred it last week. It was supposed to be paid today." "I know," I said calmly. "It was in my desk." Was. Silence shifted the air. Dad turned slowly toward her. She forced a laugh. "Why are you looking at me?" "Because," he said evenly, "you're the one who needs it." Her composure thinned. "Are you accusing me of something?" I didn't speak. I didn't need to. Dad's voice sharpened, not loud, but firm in a way that didn't allow escape. "Show me your bank app." She hesitated. "A second too long? It's none of your business." "It became my business when I sent nearly $16,000 for your education." There it was. Authority clear, unmistakable. Her hands trembled as she unlocked her phone. The transaction history didn't lie. Boutique charges, online retailers, same-day purchases. Thousands at a time. Dad didn't yell. That would have been easier. Instead, he went very quiet. "When did you plan to tell me?" he asked. She looked at me then, not defiant anymore, not smug, searching for rescue, for alliance. I held her gaze but didn't move to shield her. "I was going to replace it," she said weakly. "With what?" he asked. Hope. The room felt smaller. He sat down slowly, processing the numbers on the screen. "The tuition deadline is Friday." "I'll figure something out," she muttered. "You already figured something out," he replied. "You chose shopping over school. No one cried. No one screamed. The consequence came like paperwork. You'll call the university tomorrow and explain," he said. "If they allow a late payment, you'll take a semester off and work until you repay every dollar. Directly to your sibling, not me." Her head snapped toward me. That part hadn't occurred to her. "I don't have that kind of money." "You had it," he said. The conversation ended there. He walked to his office. The door closed with finality, not anger. She stood in the living room, smaller somehow. The shopping bags near her chair suddenly looked childish. "You set me up," she whispered. I finally spoke more than a sentence. "No, I gave you space to tell the truth." You smiled. "Wes!" She didn't understand that the smile wasn't cruelty. It was acceptance. I couldn't control her choices. I could control my reaction. If I had broken down earlier, she would have painted me as dramatic, emotional overreacting. Instead, the numbers spoke. Over the next few days, reality settled in. She called the university. Late fees applied. Her enrollment status shifted to probationary. She picked up extra shifts at a cafe she used to mock. Dad changed how money moved in the house. Documentation, transparency, no more blind trust. As for me, I moved my savings into an account with my name only. Not hidden, just protected. She tried once to joke about it. I didn't laugh. We weren't enemies. But something foundational cracked. One evening a week later, she sat across from me at the kitchen table. I didn't think you'd stay calm, she admitted quietly. I know! I thought you'd lose it. Then Dad would get mad at both of us. There it was, the strategy. I almost did, I said. But that wouldn't have helped. She nodded, eyes down. There was no apology big enough to erase what happened. But there was something quieter beginning to form, awareness, maybe. I didn't feel victorious. I felt steady. The money will come back slowly, in installments, through work she doesn't enjoy, through lessons she didn't want. Trust may or may not return. But when I think back to that moment in the kitchen, the shopping bags, the waiting, the expectation of my collapse, I understand something clearly now. Power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's simply refusing to perform the reaction someone planned for you.